yellow fever epidemic began in Texas in 1839. Yellow fever is transmitted by mosquitoes who have the viral infection. Symptoms of the disease don't usually develop until 3 to 6 days after the person is bitten from the infected mosquito. These symptoms include black vomit, yellow skin, and bleeding from the nose. It occurs mostly in sub-Saharan Africa and South America, where it is endemic and periodically epidemic. In Africa, natural immunity grows with age, and thus, infants and children are at a much higher risk for disease. In South America, though, yellow fever occurs most frequently in unvaccinated young men who are exposed to mosquito vectors through their work in forested areas. In 1783, yellow fever first made its way to the nation's capital, Philadelphia, which ended up killing over 5,000 people. This was the second of 3 outbreaks of the city endured in the 1790s. National, state, and local officials abandoned Philadelphia, leaving the sick to die in destitution. It was suggested that the European traders to blame for spreading the disease from Africa to the New World. The American Civil War occurred in 1861 and ended in 1865. Yellow fever made a difference in the outcome of several Civil War campaigns. Yellow fever outbreaks in Charleston, Mobile, New Orleans, Norfolk, Savannah, and other southern cities during the 1850s killed thousands of people and shaped outsiders' perceptions of the region as an unhealthy place to live and do business. This disease not only sickened thousands of Union and Confederate soldiers, but also affected the timing and success of certain key military operations. If mosquito-borne illness had not been part of the South's landscape in the 1860s, the story of the war could have been different. Galveston, Texas, a city with a population of about 38,000, had essentially seen firsthand what this deadly disease was all about. Newspaper article printed in the Galveston Flakes semi-weekly bulletin on August 21st, 1867 provides a list of names of people who have died from yellow fever. The article also discusses the topic of fumigation and comparing the disease to the devil. Another newspaper article headlines Some Yellow Fever Views by an Increase of the Death Rate, which was published by the Galveston Daily News on October 14, 1897. Yellow fever has 3 stages. Stage 1 is called the infection stage, where headache, muscle, and joint aches, fever, flushing, loss of appetite, vomiting, and jaundice are common. Symptoms often go away briefly, after about 3 to 4 days. Stage 2 is called the remission stage, where fever and other symptoms go away. Most people will recover at this stage, but others may get worse within 24 hours. Stage 3 is called the intoxication stage, where problems with many organs may occur, including the heart, liver, and kidney. Bleeding disorders, seizures, coma, and delirium can also occur. As far as treatment goes, there are no specific medications to treat yellow fever infections. There are blood products for severe bleeding, dialysis for kidney failure, and also fluids through a vein that can be done. Blood tests will have to be done in order to show liver failure, kidney failure, and shock. Also, not to mention that this disease is fatal. The Yellow Fever Cemetery is located in Bryan, Brazos County, Texas. The graveyard is linked, at least in popular tradition, to the great yellow fever epidemics of the 18th century. No research has been done that sufficiently shows how or why the cemetery got the name, although many people who had the disease were buried there. Some preventative measures to keep oneself from yellow fever is to sleep in screened housing, use mosquito repellents, and wear clothing that covers your skin. There also is an effective vaccine against yellow fever. However, it needs to be vaccinated within 10 to 14 days before traveling to countries that are at risk for this disease.